can start now.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. Welcome back again to another workshop of the Akashathon. We met yesterday. We are back again with another workshop series. This one is going to be all about the Jackal Protocol, which provides a decentralized infrastructure for you to improve your cybersecurity posture. Yet again, welcome Emory. We have Emory with us, and he's going to take you through all the content that he has planned for you. More about Jackal. Before I pass on the stage to him, there are three. There's a bounty that Jackal Protocol is offering. The first place is rewarded for $1,000 and 1 year of 10 TB storage. The second place for $500 and 1 year of 5 TB storage. The third place is for $200 and 1 year of 1 TB storage. But yeah, that was a little um, brief, and just to start what Emory has for you more today. But yeah, Emory, on to you now. I know we've been on to the workshop series, but yeah, feel free to take it from me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. It's nice to be working with Akash again. Do a little bit of an introduction. My name's Emory. I've been working with Jackal Labs here for a couple of years. And I'd like to just take a minute to talk about what Jackal Protocol is for those of you who aren't very familiar with it. So at its core, Jackal Protocol provides decentralized infrastructure for secure data storage. And this gives individuals, developers, and businesses the ability to protect their data privacy and improve their cybersecurity posture. So we have built this from the ground up with security in mind and privacy in mind, rather than it being an afterthought, like a lot of other protocols. So the way Jackal Protocol was built was that we said we don't want anyone to be able to have access to your data except for you. One of our key slogans is "Not your keys, not your data." That is super important to us, and currently, we offer a platform for decentralized applications, and we want you to be able to manage access and control over your own data. And we allow transference of encrypted data through your browser and self-custodial data without relying on any kind of centralized storage providers at all. The storage providers is the community. It's you guys. You are the enablers of this protocol to flourish. So that's a little bit about Jackal Protocol. As Mishika was saying earlier, we are offering a bounty for people who are looking to integrate Akash and Jackal together. We do have the first, second, and third place bounty there. And what we are kind of looking for are decentralized Web 2 Jackal bridge, so being able to bridge Web 2 protocols with Jackal Protocol. That would be something amazing that we'd love to see. And also being able to store game data on Jackal 2. We realize that the gaming industry is becoming really big, especially on the blockchain side. And being able to store that kind of data on Jackal would be awesome. But really, any project that seems very interesting to our community would be welcome. We are looking for more real-world applications for Jackal, as that's how Jackal flourishes. Being able to permeate not only Web3, but also getting into Web 2 is something that we are really looking forward to. That gives Jackal Protocol more of a foothold in the Web 2 world that most people are accustomed to. And while Web 3 is kind of where our home is and where we're built, we realize that the majority of the population lives in Web 2. And even people who do use Web 3 quite a bit, still majority use Web 2 applications. And Jackal needs to expand into that. And we're looking forward to any of the developers or hobbyists who like to look into integrating Jackal and Web 2 projects. So that's a little bit about Jackal. Mishka, was there anything else that we wanted to discuss before we get kind of straight into it? Or were there any other field questions I can answer? Should be able to hear me for now, but that's okay. I can continue talking about Jackal for a little bit. We have a relatively small team, which is okay because it allows us to focus really on what we want to do, and that is giving privacy to giving privacy to people who have data on the internet. Every day you hear about privacy breaches and hacks across many data platforms. And Jackal is aiming to solve that problem. It's not just a place to store your data like Dropbox or Google Drive. It's a place to store data that you want ownership over and do not want. You don't want any kind of centralized server or centralized entity passing on that data from you to themselves and to the server again. So that is the most important thing that we are focused on. Most of our team are developers, and we feel like that's necessary to make sure that we can ship things out quickly. I am the economist and do core infrastructure, so I make sure that our servers are running and that our tokenomics are really solid. We also have another version coming out in Jackal here relatively soon, version 4. This aims to improve the speed and efficiency at which Jackal Protocol works significantly, as well as some other minor bug fixes. So we are constantly shipping, constantly talking to the community to see what they want, and looking to make Jackal Protocol more accessible through a web dashboard, which is also getting a big update really soon. We want to make our UI UX game a little bit stronger. We know that making sure that people actually want to use the protocol and having a good user interface is key to making sure that people have a great time using it. And that's currently what we are testing. And if you ever have any other input, we'd love to have you at our town halls. We typically alternate between Discord and X for our town halls, and that's just us talking about what we've done and shipped throughout the week. And we hold an AMA at the end of every town hall so that you can give your input. Let me link our Discord here real quick so you guys can know when the town halls are, and so that you can be invited to them. Some things that we've covered in the past of the town halls are what we've done in the past week, update versions. We asked the community what they like to see during these various talks that we have with them. Discord is a little bit more intimate for us, where we get maybe 10 to 20 people, and they really are able to hone in on what we need next in Jackal Protocol and what we need to really focus on. And the Twitter spaces, or X spaces now, I suppose, are more for a broader audience. It's more of us letting it's more of us letting people know who we are, and that's more of a broad and general audience that we kind of need here. We are actually also in the middle of a brand refresh, as we like to call it. You realize that marketing is super key with Jackal Protocol, and we're looking to make sure that the world knows about us. So even though we have an amazing product and something that the world should really know about and see, marketing is key for that. And our brand refresh is currently working on that really hard. We want to show people that this is a service that is going to be more and more necessary in the future, and that your data privacy is way more important than you think. And us having that marketing protocol and making sure that your community and the world knows about it is super key for us. So that has been a really hard focus for us over the past 2-ish months. We've actually got another team member specifically to help us out with that marketing and brand refresh. He's been working with us for, I think, just a couple of months now. And we've got some amazing results, and we really can't wait to show you. So that's what Jackal's been up to in the very recent timeline. Things we're looking forward to in the future are really expanding our Web3 presence into various what we might call outposts. So one of the biggest things we're working on right now is making sure that we are able to integrate seamlessly into other Web3 projects and other chains. And having these outposts in other chains will give us a wide variety of utility. It'll allow other chains to use our chain to store their data without having to move to our chain. They can just say, they can just store their data natively through us without making 1 to 3 different hops between different storage protocols. So that's something we're really excited about doing. And we've been working with a few teams lately to make sure that happens really seamlessly. And if we can do it in Web3, then we think we can do it in Web 2 pretty easily. Expanding into Web 2, as I've said earlier, is a huge priority of ours. Being able to use Jackal Protocol, even though it is a blockchain product, without having to worry about blockchain and understanding the technology behind that in a Web 2 sense is huge. One of the most important things when it comes to product, and this isn't just a Jackal Protocol thing. This is more of a more generalized statement about making sure that our blockchain products can work well in Web 2, understanding that even though they are blockchain products, it's not as intimidating as it seems. Let's see. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Talking more about the Akash and Jackal Hackathon and partnerships. We'd like to see what we can actually throw out there in an Akash container. Being able to have either persistent or ephemeral storage in a cache is super important. We want to make sure that being able to work with a cache, and as they work with other Web 2 companies as well, is done seamlessly. There are a lot of possibilities when it comes to a cache and Jackal. As I mentioned earlier, building some kind of decentralized Web 2 Jackal bridge via a cache container would be stunning. And not only that, but if a cache is able to use Jackal Protocol for, like I said, any kind of permanent or ephemeral storage would be great. We think that us being infrastructure companies is really key to the future of the infrastructure of not only Web3, but also Web 2. Saying that you can integrate Jackal with not only a cache, but really any other infrastructure in Web3 would be really great. We'd like to see that Jackal can be used and deployed anywhere. So that's something we're really looking forward to. I'm trying to think of anything else that would be really great for Jackal and Akash to work together about. I know I said data storage is super important for us, and that's kind of our bread and butter. But it's more than just object storage. We've been looking into key uses of AI, and we know that Akash has as well. We actually did a town hall about that just a little bit ago about use cases of AI in Jackal and being able to do something with AI. Now it's all the rage now with with a cache would be super great. Being able to store large amounts of data for AI modeling is something that Jackal and Akash do really, really well together. So I'd be interested in seeing an application like that as well. Something that I think that'll be really, really big in the future. Just being able to store large amounts of data, which Jackal is very good at, and being able to run those off of a cache containers and machine learning off of those cache containers would be really, really cool. Let's see here. Let's see if there are any more questions. If anyone has any more questions, I'd be happy to take them, especially when it comes to what Jackal and Akash can do together. Many people have been asking, and sometimes even conflating Jackal and what Akash can do. Akash is mainly that cloud compute layer, and Jackal is a storage protocol. But obviously, we have a lot of similarities when it comes to infrastructure, and being able to work together would be something that I am really, really looking forward to.
Yeah, about the hackathons, about the submissions to the Akashathon hackathon. There have been submission to the hackathon. They just need to be reviewed and approved before you're able to see them on the build page. But yeah, as we move closer to the finish line, you will see a bunch of builds present over there. Um, so yeah, if you submitted and your submission is not yet visible on the build page, do not worry. It's just a matter of time as and when we approve them. Um, Not sure, Emory, if you've already addressed this, but there's a question about, um, hey, Emory, feel free to share tips or personal takes about building an app that stores data on the Jackal protocol from inside an Akash container.
Yeah, I can touch on that a little bit more. So I don't think it has been done yet from a cache's standpoint. I've been kind of looking to see what people have been building inside cache containers. And we're honestly not really sure what is possible yet, but I don't imagine that something like this is impossible at all. So building an app inside a cache container is basically just making sure that the Docker file that you make, or it's like a Docker file that you make, is just compatible with Jackal Protocol. All of Jackal Protocol's core resources are open source, so being able to look at that from a developer standpoint of view should be pretty easy. We are working on documentation and improving it every day, but I can imagine it's relatively resource intensive. So making sure that you have the resources to actually deploy a Jackal application inside in a cache container, which is also rather resource intensive, will be it could be challenging just because of, like I said, of how much work it'll take to make sure it runs properly. But yeah, it's absolutely possible, or at least we think it's possible, and we want to. That's kind of part of the point of the hackathon, is seeing whether or not our submissions are able to run an application in a container. And while we don't see any um, obvious technical roadblock to this, we think that the sky's the limit when it comes to this. Akash is very, very flexible when it comes to being able to run most, if not any kind of application inside a container, and we don't think Jackal's any different here.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Emery, for that. If you have any other questions for now, feel free to drop it in the comments. Or you can always go to the Discord. We've dropped the link to the Discord in the chat. So feel free to take up discussions over there, ask more questions, share your ideas, share the possibilities of building on Jackal. For the docs and website, you can always find it on the sponsored track tab on the Akashathon page on DoraHacks. Um, yeah, there's another question. What are some ideas you would want to see being built on Jackal?
Yeah, so there are a couple of really big ideas that we're kind of looking for. And one of them is being able to store game data on Jackal. And we think that's going to be really, really important in the future. And especially if it can be done through an Akash container, that would be extra great. We realize that building gaming platforms, things like that, on Web3 can be difficult, just because the blockchain wasn't really meant for that, which is why a lot of Web3 gaming platforms have a lot of Web2 elements in them. But you can easily bring those Web3 elements in through storage, and that's what Jackal is all about. So being able to store your assets and various other objects that are needing to be have some kind of memory storage on Jackal would be amazing. So that's one thing we're looking for. Another thing we're looking for to be built on Jackal is the ability to store those large swaths of data, especially for AI. We've talked a little bit about that before in our town hall. So being able to train AI on large swaths of storage data that you can house on Jackal would be absolutely amazing. So because Jackal is really good at just storing loads of data at a single point in time, and having that data encrypted uh, is something that we are hoping that is flexible enough that really anyone can use for almost any purpose. So I would say those are two really, really big things. Being able to store gaming data, looking into AI applications, as well as some kind of Web 2 Jackal bridge that you can use your Web 2 applications and store them on the blockchain with Jackal Protocol. So I would say those are the really, really big ones.
Um, yeah, assuming the watchers or builders do not have any more questions. But in case you do, like I said, feel free to join the town hall or take it on the Discord chat. But yeah, Emily, if that's it, I would love to, have your closing thoughts, any advice for the builders. And yeah, after that, maybe we can close the floor because there are only 8 days left. So we'll give the builders their time to build.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. So you have our link to our Discord, and we do have a channel for developers, and we definitely would like you to use that. If you have any questions about how the Jackal Protocol works, if you have any documentation questions, our team answers pretty regularly. We're all there pretty much all the time, so we're either working internally or answering questions on the Discord. So please use the Discord for any questions you have. That'll give you a real big leg up if you're able to field your questions there. So Please join the Discord. Let us know your thoughts on what you'd like to build. And well, the sky's the limit when it comes to Jackal Protocol if you have privacy and data storage in mind. So we can't wait to see what you guys can think about when it comes to what you can throw inside of an Akash container and make it really easily deployable for anyone to use. And we think that Jackal Protocol is a great place to start when it comes to uh, integrating anything with Akash.
I think we have another one before we close off this session. But what's one key thing that devs should consider when building on Jackal and why?
I think I touched on it just a little bit before. So Jackal's main objective is the storage and transference of secure and encrypted data. Being familiar with encryption and understanding how to move encrypted objects, data and transfer in motion through various protocols, I would say is super important. Keeping that key thing in mind, I think, is something that'll really help out developers when they're looking to build something. Although that's not the only thing Jackal's capable of, it's kind of one of our foundations is privacy and tying your keys to your data. So being able to make sure that that part is real solid, I would say, is one of the key things about building something on Jackal, is keeping that privacy in mind. It's the very first thing we thought about when making this protocol.
Thanks a lot, Emory, for taking in all the questions, and thank you everyone who's watching for making this super interactive, dropping in all the questions. Again, I wish you good luck for this hackathon or whatever project you're building on. And thanks, Emory, for all the time and information that you've shared with us today. Yeah, and like I said, you will see the builds appear on the build section of the hackathon page very soon. But yeah, good luck again, and thank you for joining.
Thank you, everyone.